What's up everybody? This is going to be a very different video for you guys. It's going to be a big sigh of relief. There's going to be no kicking in football today, all for you guys to see. No weights, any of that sort of stuff. And the reason I do this is, well, I'm doing this is because I got a message from my first subscriber. As you know, I've got 3 subscribers right now. Well, last time I checked. And I've made a video for that person because I was so happy that I finally got my first subscriber. And he sent me, he wrote in the comment section and I replied to it, and this is what he said to me. Hey man, I'm your first subscriber. I really don't know much of anything about the AFL, but I do appreciate your focus, dedication and putting yourself out there working towards your goal. Also, I appreciate the fact that you are open about your faith. You seem like a legitimately good guy. I believe most people can relate of having a goal in mind, so your channel I think should appeal to a wide audience. Can I make some suggestions that I think might help your videos? Maybe perhaps make a video to address some questions. Who are you? What is the AFL? Why do you want to play the AFL? i.e., why is it your dream? What positions are you looking to play in the AFL, etc.? Talk about where you live, what life is like, what other interests do you have besides AFL? Who and what do you draw your inspirations from? On the technical side, perhaps state and lay out your fitness goals and perhaps tighten up the quantity of workout footage and contain it into a weekly best of. Make sure in each description to include please like, comment and share. There are other simple tips like try filming in different locations from time to time. Use custom thumbnails for identifying the videos, etc. I think you have plenty of room to grow your channel. Stick with it. I'll be watching. Keep going, man. I am so thankful for you for writing that message. You have no idea how much that really helped me. So today I thought that I would help you or anybody else who doesn't know what the AFL actually is. So I printed out some sheets of paper to sort of educate you guys on what the AFL is. I am going to address those questions that you have asked, the other questions. But also I'm going to start on the basics of what AFL actually is. So I hope you find this video educational for you guys, and I've put a link in the description of some footage of the AFL and more of an in-depth explanation of the AFL, so you can actually see games being played and all that sort of stuff. I think it's only a 5-minute video, but it's really, if you guys want to check it out, it will help you so much to understand what the AFL is. So what we'll start off with this one right here. So this is the football oval, guys. I've marked out the positions for you to learn. So I did the that's how it sort of varies on oval to oval. Not every oval's like this. I've played ovals on really smaller ovals and really wider ovals. The oval that I currently play on now is a very wide oval, so the oval doesn't have to be actually, 150 meters, 55 meters wide. Ovals vary from different side, from oval to oval. Anyway, so we'll start off with the forward lines here. So these are your goal kickers and all that sort of stuff. So FP stands for forward pocket, FF is full forward, and then obviously the other forward pocket. This is the 50-meter arc, so it's just 50 meters. There's no really reason why. It's not like an offside rule. There's no offside in AFL. It's just so you know how much distance there is from the goals, just like in the NFL. This is the goal square. So the next one is the half forward line. So HFF is half forward flank. CHF is centre half forward, and this one is the other half forward flank. So these are your back lines. So pretty much all they have to do is stop the other team from getting the goal. That's all they do. So HBF is half back flank, CHB centre half back, and this one is the other half back flank. And then this one is back pocket, FP, full back, and then the other back pocket. And then you have 4 on the bench. And then you got your centerman. So you got your ruck. So this is the person who taps the ball down. So the ball goes up at the start of a game or after a goal, and then they have to hit it between to any of the other centermen. So this is just rover, ruck rover, centerman. So pretty much these are just they're just midfielders pretty much. So your ruck rover, your ruck is just like a really tall person who, and then these are just throughout the midfielders. So as I was saying before, is that the positions aren't restricted to where. Oh, and plus these two as well. These two are your wingmen. So W is wing. So these two are also midfielders. They're called wingmen. So as I was saying before, is that you're not restricted to where you play. So you can play wherever you want. But what happens is that when a ball up starts, like at the start of a quarter, or after a goals kick, it goes back to the center, then there's a ball up, and then you start again. All the players have to stay outside this square at a ball up until the ball is thrown up. Everyone can move in and do whatever they like. If you are inside the square before the ball up, it's a free kick to the other team, so they get to kick like whichever way they're going. Same with the forward lines and back lines. The way they set up, they don't actually set up like this. When I go watch AFL, they more set up in a straight line, like everyone's all bunched up in this sort of corridor sort of thing. So it's a very free-flowing game. There's no offside or anything. So if the ball is down into your back lines, you can have a player stand up there if you like. So it's not really, it's a 360 game, so you can pretty much go anywhere. So the goal of the game is to kick the more goals to the other team. So you have your goal post there. It's 6 points if you get it through the goals. If it hits either of the goal posts, you get 1 point, and then if it goes in between the behind post and the goal post, it's 1 point as well. So 6, 1, and 1 if you hit the post. If you hit the behind post, it's out of bounds on the full, and the other team, you get no points, and the other team gets a free kick, and then they can move it out, all that sort of stuff. The game is divided into 4 quarters, so it's 20 minutes each quarter, and there is no timeouts or any of that sort of stuff. So when you want to, if any of the players are getting tired on the field, what they have to do is they have to run to the interchange gates, and then another player can come on for them. That's how you rotate players throughout the game. Like I said before, there's no timeouts. No one can just be like, hey, I want to have a timeout, and they call stop on the game. It's just a free-flowing game. That is pretty much the essentials of pretty much the game. That's pretty. It's not all the rules. For example, there's other rules like, how to, you can tackle, like to get the ball, you can tackle players, marking, kicking, handballing, all that sort of stuff. But we're not going to go into all that sort of stuff. We'll go into that another time. But this is just learning the basics of the game. So just the basic layout of the game, the positions, and all that sort of stuff. So the position that I play wing, and I like to play half forward as well. So I'm a bit of a midfielder, forward line player, just because I have a good speed. I have a lot of good speed, and I can use my speed to lead out of the forward lines to intercept marks. And I also got a very I don't want to boast or anything, but I have a good accurate kick as well. So I find that I'm good at picking targets and that sort of stuff. So I prefer to play up here more compared to here, because you sort of, even though you can move down here and all that sort of stuff, I just find that if I get the ball out there, I can hit targets up here and that sort of stuff. So I'm more of a wingman, half forward sort of player. So what we use to play the game is we use a football. So as you can tell, it's a very more of an egg shape sort of ball. It's very unorthodox. Just the way it can bounce. Like it's not like a soccer ball how it can continually like bounce continually roll in one direction. It can bounce. You know, if it hits on different points, it can bounce in any different directions. I don't have enough space to show you the different types of kicks. So you can handball, which is you get the ball and that's how you pass it, if that makes sense. You can kick, marking, all that sort of stuff. So the link in the description will put more of a emphasis on hand passing, kicking, and it'll show you a lot of other things. But this video is just mainly just to sort of get into the just to learn the basics of it. So yeah, there's 18 different teams in the competition. As you can tell, I'm wearing my favourite team at the moment. I'm wearing the Adelaide Crows, they're called, because I live in Adelaide, so I go for Adelaide Crows. So these are called Guernseys. They're not. I know in America that they're called jerseys and all that sort of stuff, but in Australia we call them Guernseys. So I'll show you guys the other 18 teams, and then you guys can make a choice for yourself which team you're gonna like. So first off, we got the Adelaide Crows, is what I'm wearing right now. The next team is Port Adelaide, which is another Adelaide team. When you're from Adelaide, you either like Crows or you like Power, because when they play together, it's called a showdown, and let's just say it gets very hostile between the two teams. So when you're from Adelaide, you either like Port or you like Crows. The next team is Brisbane Lions. So this makes it sort of self-explanatory. They're Lions. Carlton Blues. Collingwood Magpies. Essendon Bombers. Fremantle Dockers. Geelong Cats. Gold Coast Suns. Greater Western Sydney Giants, or Greater Western Sydney. Hawthorn. Melbourne. North Melbourne. Richmond. St Kilda. Sydney. Western Bulldogs. And West Coast. So that is the 18 teams in the AFL. So hopefully you picked the team that you really like. As you know, I'm Adelaide Crows, so yeah. At the moment, because it's still football season on at the moment, I'm going to show you what the AFL ladder actually is to see how your team is actually going. So I'll show you how it's going. So this is the AFL ladder after 14 rounds. Well, it's round 14 this week. So this is how your teams are travelling. So the first team is Adelaide Crows. Second team is GWS, Geelong, Port Adelaide, Melbourne, Richmond, West Coast, Essendon. So the top, there's 23 rounds in the season. So after 23 rounds, the top 8 teams go into the finals, and then it's like the NBA playoffs. And then they end up playing at the final game at the end of the year, which is called the grand final. So number 9 is, so the top 8 teams go into the finals at the end of the season. 9th is Western Bulldogs, St Kilda, Fremantle, Sydney, Collingwood, Gold Coast, Carlton, North Melbourne, Hawthorn and Brisbane. So that is the AFL ladder as it stands right now. So as you can tell, we're on top. So you may be asking, so what happens when, the finals happen and then there's the 2 teams left that go into the grand final? What do they win at the very end? So this is what they win at the very end. They win the AFL Premiership Cup. That's pretty much how you can describe it, what it is. So this is what they win if you win the grand final. You win that massive cup. The best player that plays in the grand final, the best player on ground, wins the Norm Smith Medal. So imagine if you win the grand final and then you're the best player on the ground and you win the Norm Smith Medal. So that'd be a very good day for you. So the AFL also have a MVP night, which is like for the most valuable player during the season, and that happens the week before the grand final round. And what you get is called the Brownlow Medal. That is what the MVP wins. So you might think, imagine like winning all three of those in 1 year. But it looks, as you can see, the Brownlow Medal looks pretty big. Like it doesn't. It looks like it's like a normal size medal. Well, it can be deceiving because the Brownlow Medal is quite small compared to how you would think it looks. So they're the past three winners of the last 3 years of the Brownlow Medal. So yeah, that is the basics of AFL right there. I have put a link in the description for you guys to see. It's actually from the AFL itself. They explain what the AFL is in more detail. I'm not sure if I actually explained to you what AFL actually means. If I haven't, it is Australian Football League. So that's all there is to it. That is what I want to accomplish. That is what I'm working for. This is what this YouTube channel is built for me to play AFL. So I hope I've helped you out in showing you guys what AFL is and what I want to play. It's going to be a long journey. I need to get really fit because it is a very demanding sport. You have to be able to run long distance. You have to be quick. You have to be good on your feet. Good mark. You have to have good hands to catch the ball. You have to be good at kicking goals. You have to be all that. So it's a very, very demanding sport compared to other sports out there. But that's what we're going to work for, and that's what we're going to strive for on this channel. So hopefully I've helped you out, guys, in trying to explain what AFL actually is, because, you know, it's the best sport in the world.